Okay. We're back, and this is about 3 seconds after the Red Dragon comment. About 5 minutes, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that. Maybe around a minute or two. Huh, I got a mosquito. Yay!
Is Satan 6 density?
Huh?
Is Satan 6 density?
Yeah, but very, 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 very strongly making an effort to reach 7th density. He feels like he's 6th density. He feels like he's past 6.5, so he's somewhere like 6.7.
So he doesn't have polarity then?
It feels like he doesn't have polarity. He only has like the desire to become the better creator.
Oh,
like
okay.
A very strong desire to become a better creator, combined with a singular body. So not like 7th density where you give up your body and create it moment by moment again. And that's a very attractive option for him, because that would allow him to essentially become God, and then like prove to himself that he's a better God, or just like whatever comes there, he could just like realize that God is the best God. You know what I mean? He doesn't know the answer yet. So he's very interested in finding 7th density. He still feels like he's basically omnipotent and able to do whatever he damn well pleases, but he feels like he wants to reach the 7th density. It also feels like he wants to be the last creature to reach 7th density, so everybody else has retreated back to God before he retreats to God. But that desire is much stronger in Lucifer than in Satan, and Satan actually feels like he may just go eagerly into the 7th density as quickly as he can, you know? That's what I sense from him. I also sense that he's been in many octaves, but he hasn't like successfully stayed in the 7th density for a long period of time. I also feel that.
Are you gonna ground again when you go in?
Yeah, I'm gonna ground again. I need to do that before I can comfortably watch the Seinfeld thing. I'm gonna start.
I want to eat anyway.
Yeah, I want to watch a couple of military things and possibly a couple of grounding music videos, and then I'm ready. I need to watch Lindsay Sterling hop around and see what she's like. When she hops around, she clearly talks in spirit, like that thing in that direction by that distance. When she does the thing with her legs where she waves her legs in the air, she's clearly communicating in spirit, going like playing music and then listening to how the audience reacts, like how the sexual energy approaches her, and then she clearly gives out messages with her movements and where to place it, and go like, this belongs there, this belongs there, this belongs to this couple, and acts like a cupid between the energies, like very smoothly softening it out.
Do you think she's consciously aware she's doing that?
It's about 50-50. She's very religious and very aware of her worship for God. She's an LDS, like Latter-day Saint. So it could be that she's consciously thinking of, in her mind, about different relationships, and like those kinds of love belong in that direction and those belong in this direction. It's possible she's trying to signal that consciously with her music, but it seems like it's probable that she's just like really enjoying the dance and it's shining through her music instead of her doing it intentionally. It feels like that. But she does feel like an archangel that's very like directly giving advice to people. So it could actually be fully intentional and aware. But it would still, considering it's an archangel, be exceptionally difficult to like get her to open up about it and talk about how she's like guiding people with her music and her dancing and getting them to go to different, better loving options. It would possibly be very difficult for you to convince her to talk about it, because it's like an archangel. You would be exposing yourself to a significant amount of light by doing that, but it's not an impossibility. Those flies are doing the flying breeding thing that they do when they talk with me. There's a lot of flies here. They're very intently observing us. One is on my leg cleaning itself, and then it walks a couple of footsteps to some direction based on what I'm asking it, and then it flies away and lands back again. It's very clearly communicating, going like, "I hear you, spirit boy." You know what I mean? Humans have a tendency to push everything to the extreme, and I'm definitely pushing this channeling thing to the extreme while I'm smoking because I can feel my throat going. I'm definitely pushing this thing to the extreme. Wanting like a high score, you know what I mean? I can feel that I'm way beyond where my vitality would prefer me to be, but my mind power is keeping me going. Or like perhaps in raw words we would use the word physical energy or something like reserve energy.
Yeah.
And I'm using mostly mind energy. They wouldn't use vitality as an energy in this regard because vitality would be powered by the other energies when the physical energy runs out. I'm gonna read at least a few pages of raw material and do the randomizer clicking thing when I ground. I'm gonna need to do that.
Yeah.
Just to get back into the mood. It's very hard accepting raw as a guide or a higher self for me because it feels like such an immature spirit. It's very hard for me to do. And there are a lot of mistakes that he's making, but it feels like overall that he's probably a good guy, but you do want to keep a specific amount of distance from him because he's like prone to pushing people into psychosis and similar, because he's like, I will give you the understanding instead of enjoying their like reveling in their problems. For example, like a well-educated lust demon is very unlikely to push you into a psychosis because they're very content with sucking on your energy until you die of a natural death and then moving to the next target. But somebody like Ra, with their desire to be a strong teacher, has a very strong corresponding desire to push people into psychoses to get them to open up or do what's proper, which is very obvious in how their disciples act with the whole love bombing thing, when they do the thing where they just randomly, for the betterment of the person, draw down their wall and go like, this is the good and that is the bad, you know, when they explain that. And that's very clearly one of Ra's hang-ups and so on. But it's for me, connecting with Ra as a higher self is very hard, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel very natural to me. Once again, did I answer your question even in the ballpark region?
Question or questions?
Question. I mean what you asked, because I completely forgot. You know, I forgot it like 1/3 of way into it, and I was like, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you've been good.
Okay. That's good to know. The spirit is still good when I leave the body, you know what I mean? It doesn't immediately go haywire when I lose my track. It keeps me on my track. I'm getting a very sad reading of when I started to do drugs heavily. My mother lost my energies and could no longer send loving energy to my like real self. She kept like misunderstanding somebody else as me in the like astral, because she's very good with the astral stuff. That she is sending love in my direction, but there's always some kind of corruption in the way. There's different people and different entities because I'm moving so fast between them that I'm doing the drugs that it's making me not my core self, I would say.
Yeah.
I get a very sad feeling of she sending love to me and it not like completely going through, and her like misunderstanding things about me that I'm wanting her to go away when I don't want that, and I'm like sending messages that are not like meant for her, but she hears them from me, like saying bad things when I want to say bad things to like just the air to get them out of my system instead of saying them to her. And I get a very sad feeling that she thinks I want her to move away and that she's not able to send me love. And I get like when she says in the astral that I love you, I get a feeling like, oh, I wish she would say that to me, and then a distance between my core self and the self that she's saying it to. And she's like, damn it, I lost the energy and I'm sending it to the wrong one again. I feel a very sad sense of that. It's one of the things that that I think may convince me to stop doing drugs, but most likely not. Energy drinks and smoking, that's gonna be good on your throat. You know, like whiskey and tobacco. Hello, Luke. I am your father. Hello, son. Did you notice I'm smoking tobacco? Darth Vader. You are inside the tobacco, and I see you clearly, Papa. This is who I would be if I never did the tobacco and the and the coffee and some amount of the alcohol. I would be the ruler of this entire region, and we could rule together as father and son. Nah, father, I'm content with my own life. Just throw that emperor over the edge. Ah! Nice. A lot of those breeding flies are trying to get on you. They like your energy. They're clearly using the energy we're doing as a tether for breathing. You know a tether? Tether?
I've heard of a tether.
It's when an angel or a demon, or sometimes a human, creates direct contact between like an astral positive or an astral negative realm. The marshland won't do it. It has to be like a very specific god. So for example, the temple at Olympus in Greece has a tether to the Greek gods. They're still like present there. And when you have like a strong spiritual significance, like a really good church, that has a tether to heaven, and so on and so forth. Completely lost my thought in the middle of this thing. I'm getting the spirits from Bringforth telling me, okay, I believe that you can do this, you're not an actor, eat. I'm getting that very distinct signal from them. Like they started to believe that I'm not just an actor portraying some kind of thing, that I'm actually putting in the effort, because I'm becoming physically exhausted, like unlike an actor would be. I'm becoming like physically exhausted. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I'm becoming like confused and so on. And it's clearly not the drugs doing it, because I smoked like a lot, but I smoked a lot more, and I've done that on the record on Bring Forth and on those podcasts, and I've still managed to maintain much more lucidity than I managed to maintain now. And they're clearly telling me like, we believe you, stop, eat. You know what I mean? They're clearly saying that to me. I'm feeling like I'm in a interrogation sauna for them. Like they want to interrogate me and like check out if I'm actually one of the good guys, and with an interrogation sauna, and I'm doing like an intensive work so I can get to the point where I'm believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting a distinct sense of that. They're a little disappointed that I said it out loud, but they're willing to accept it. They were like, don't pinpoint us, you know what I mean? They were of that feeling.
Well, you can break your connection to that anthro if you want.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it now. I do feel a strong sense of love from the Bring Forth community. I feel them touching my heart and going like pressure and then backing off. I can strongly feel that. Mostly that pressure comes when you die in an alternative reality and somebody gives you like the pumping thing and starts your heart again, and you feel the pumping motion or the pressure motion through the dimensional barriers. It's somebody saving like an alternative version of yourself. When they think they wouldn't go through the effort and suddenly change their mind and you feel like pressure in your heart, they're literally saving the life of your alternate self. That's like very often what I feel. I have officially smoked enough.
That's good.
Quite high, but I can still keep talking. We can do this without the smoking, I think. I'm gonna at least like try. I do feel a lump in my heart. Like my heart has a very specific lump in it. Like there's like a blockage even, but it doesn't feel painful, at least not yet.
Yeah.
If I do deplete my energy significantly, because they seem to deplete top down, I'll probably first lose contact with the spirit, and only after that I'll probably start acting weird and start losing my consciousness. That'll probably happen after I lose contact with the spirit. And when I do actually get to a point where I can't get a spiritual impression of what he like feels like or thinks like or so on, I will be very concerned. I will notice it instantly. So that should be like a clear warning sign that something's up. They should disconnect me from the spirit before it becomes harmful to me automatically. I shouldn't like have to basically worry about it. The system basically disconnects me when I'm starting to do too much harm to myself. But I can basically walk until I collapse, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a steady pace of walking, and I can probably do that until I collapse.
I'm like that too. I kind of feel what you're feeling.
Yeah.
I feel drained.
Yeah, we are definitely doing heavy spirit work, and it's draining us. And they're using a lot of our energies to build the bridges between the worlds. Like anytime they learn anything new about us or themselves, they're using that particular energy to mirror in their own world. So we are a very strong breeding influence on them, and we have a lot of like offspring in their world in a way. And that's very energy intensive because we're doing such a major portion of their entire population over a long period of time, so there's not a lot of variability. And it starts to feel like when that generation breeds, there'll be a lot of like inbreeding problems, and that's one of the parts of like the pain with the heart chakra when you get really exhausted by communicating with another civilization. You get a very distinct sense that your energy is so strong that it's causing them to have so many children in your energy and making so many children from your energy that there'll be a specific inbreeding problem, and that like affects you. You start to get like pain in your heart from that, you know. They said in spirit, I heard it from that group over there, but it's clearly from the spirit, that they recognized, now that I explained it, that that's one of the basic demons that destroy societies, like the basic harms of communicating with the society. They recognized it when I explained it happening. It's more powerful over a long period, so if you have like one very critically important communication with a species and never communicate with them again, the damage is much greater than if you communicate over a long time slowly like we're doing, because the way we're doing it, they can correct it when it's happening, when they realize it. But if you have like a strong one-time influence on the society, you can end up having like a religion that generates the same kind of offspring for a very long time, and that becomes like clonative degeneration. So it's much better the way we're doing it, so the heart is actually more content with it even though it's in pain. I can fairly clearly tell that that's at least true in my case. I think I'm gonna go get a cup of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
You wanna keep the recording going?
I want to eat.
Is the like spring rolls or whatever she's making ready?
Yeah, I need to pull them out.
Yeah. So we're ready to do this thing?
Yeah, I wanna take what we've done and put it online.
Yeah, let's eat.